Welcome to the We Are Wake Tech podcast with your host, Wake Tech President, Dr. Scott Ralls.
Hello, and welcome to the We Are Wake Tech podcast. I'm your host, Scott Ralls. And here at Wake Tech, we're into the spring semester. We're past Groundhog Day. In Wake Tech tradition, I saw my shadow. That means 12 more weeks of classes for students here at Wake Tech. But as we started spring semester, it was an exciting time for us. Record enrollments at Wake Tech, over 23,000 registered students for our spring semester, 3,500 new students. That's more students that are new than some colleges have students. It's a big time at Wake Tech, and big things are happening in admissions and outreach. And we have two superstars at Wake Tech, admissions and outreach superstars for Wake Tech. Santrell Kaysen, who's our Dean of Admissions and Outreach, and Anthony Garnes, Director of Access and Outreach. They do a wonderful job. We're going to hear about how you access the opportunities at Wake Tech on this episode of the We Are Wake Tech podcast. And Anthony and Santrell, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for what you do for Wake Tech. We want to start out, though, not talking about what you do on a day-to-day basis and the impact you're having, but tell us a little bit about you. Tell us your Wake Tech story. How did you get to Wake Tech? How do we get so fortunate to have you join us here at Wake Tech? And Santrell, I'm going to start with you because you've been here for a while. You're part of a dynamic duo here at Wake Tech. Your family is a Wake Tech family, and you've had a tremendous impact for years. Tell us that Santrell Wake Tech story.
Yeah, so I am originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. I grew up and went to college there. After I graduated college, I went to grad school in Southern Illinois, which is Carbondale, Illinois, which is about 6 hours south of Chicago. I studied counseling there, counseling program, and while working there or in school there, I worked as an advisor and a success coach for a program that helped underprepared students enroll at the college who ordinarily would not have been admitted. And in addition to that, I worked as a liaison with the local community college there. It was called Junior College, to help students.
Delgado? What was the college?
No, this was in Southern Illinois. This was Logan Junior College, to help students transition from the community college to the university. So that was a very rewarding experience. And after I graduated from grad school there, I was wondering where would I move next? And you know how those articles come out with the ranked best places to move to? That's how I ended up in Raleigh.
Were we ranked the best back then?
It was,
Wow.
26 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
It was the Triangle area. So I said, okay, why not? We moved here.
There you go.
And my first job was working with an agency that provided in-home marriage and family therapy services to families who were on the verge of losing their kids going to be taken outside of the home. So that was quite stressful and interesting. After a year of doing that, I decided I think I want to go back into higher ed and merge. I still wanted to help people, but not in counseling per se in that environment. So I applied for a job at Wake Tech. Got the job, and 25 years later, here I am. When I first started, I think the tuition was maybe $16 a credit hour.
Still cheap, but it's more expensive than $16.
$16 a credit hour, and we had just transitioned, I think, from a quarterly system to a semester system. So this was the end of 1998. Yes. I feel like I've grown up at Wake Tech. I've got married, had my kids, grown kids. My kids have taken classes here, and I believe in the open door admission in the community college. So that's where I was able to merge my helping spirit along with higher ed.
Well, you've helped build Wake Tech over those years. Hey, tell me before we switch to Anthony. So you're a Louisiana girl. So what's your what food from Louisiana do you miss, or do you cook here?
Well, I was hoping you didn't ask me what I like to cook.
Tell me that, yes.
No, that would be a no.
Well, what do you like to eat that's from
Gumbo, jambalaya, pralines.
It.
It's Mardi Gras season in New Orleans right now, so king cake is out. Yes, I do like to eat, but I'm not so much of a great cook.
Well, my mouth's watering already. Okay, Anthony, tell us your story.
Yeah, so I actually had a non-traditional approach to college. So graduate high school, originally from New York, moved here as a kid in graduate high school in a small town in Vance County, Henderson. Then after high school, went in the Army, spent 7 years in the Army. Second half of that Army career was an Army recruiter, which actually brought me to Wake County. So believe it or not, this was back in 2007, 2008. And a lot of those counselors are still in Wake County Public Schools today.
The Army counselor?
Yeah. And high school counselors.
Oh, high school counselors. Okay,
a lot of the CDCs and counselors are still here. And I had a funny story. I had a counselor send me a picture with a BlackBerry of me at one of their college fairs at Sanderson. She's still there. But went to school online, earned my bachelor's degree in HR management, then earned my master's degree, and wound up meeting a colleague at another recruitment event that worked for Wake Tech. And I was encouraged to join the recruitment team, and the rest is kind of history. That was over 10 years ago. So.
Well, last time I saw you, I didn't get a chance to speak. I saw you and your beautiful family across the gym for a women's basketball game recently. Your little girls were there cheering. It was a KL night, and they had their pink pom-poms. I enjoyed watching your beautiful family that night.
Thank you. A lot of fun. Yeah. Their first basketball game, actually.
Oh, was it?
So, yes.
Well, they looked like they got into it pretty quickly.
They did. Yeah. They did.
Well, let's talk about your impact here at Wake Tech and some exciting things that are happening. First, start off, Centrell, tell us, I like to think of Wake Tech, we're a high-touch place, but let's talk about the high-tech part of it first. Wake Tech's a very technology-forward community college, and there's some new tools in place that you have been working on with others at Wake Tech to help our students access Wake Tech and for us to reach out to our students, like what's called CRMs and virtual tours and custom view books. Tell us about some of those things that are new here at Wake Tech that we're using to.
Yes, very exciting tools to add to our toolbox. We have what's called the CRM, Customer Relationship Management System. A lot of businesses and private industry use CRMs, and you'll see that that's now being used in higher ed. And now we're using it at Wake Tech. A lot of community colleges are now looking at CRMs. We recently implemented ours less than 2 years ago. Very good tool that allows us to communicate with students better. We can collect prospects. We can engage with them earlier on in the process. We can stay engaged with them. We're able to have them let us know what their interests are. We're able to automate some of our processes as well, and students are able to look at our application portal. They can determine if their transcripts have been received, lots of information in that portal for them. So we think it's a really good tool that's helping aid us in increasing our recruitment and retention efforts and student success. In addition to CRM, we've been able to have custom view book, which is accessible on our website. So students are able to go in, they can let us know what programs they're interested in, what type of activities, athletics, student clubs they're interested in, and then they're able to get a custom view book customized to them, designed like a brochure that's delivered to them through their email. In addition to the custom view book, we also have a road piece and nice brochure that our recruitment team is able to deliver to prospects and to students when they go into high schools. It's a nice feature. It includes all of our points of pride about Wake Tech. So again, it starts that engagement piece, and that's the point of having a lot of tech tools to make sure that when students come to us, that they're able to learn about Wake Tech initially, and then to continue on with that communication and engagement with them throughout their process.
Great. You use that word custom, talking about the view book, but it seems like that's kind of a new, what the technology and the resources are allowing is to custom for each student a little more towards what they identify as their particular interest, which breadth of programs. It specifies a little more to their goals. Is that?
Exactly. My kids, my son just graduated college, and my daughter is in college now. And so when I was on the journey of helping them apply to schools, I saw a lot of these universities with things like a custom view book and a CRM. And fortunately, we were able to bring that to Wake Tech. And so the students are able to say, hey, this is what I'm interested in. And then the custom view book is designed based upon their interests and their behaviors.
And when we talk about tools and technology, and Wake Tech is certainly strong in technology, it's really about the relationships and the personal side that makes things, I think, so special here. While we are the biggest of colleges in North Carolina, I like to say we strive to act small, and it's those one-on-one relationships that are developed. And there's some new ways that you have been pioneering about how we can increase that outreach and connection with potential new students. Can you tell us a little about that?
Absolutely. It's very important to have that high touch to complement that technology. Technology is great, but that human touch is also very important. And I tell staff all the time, we have a dynamic admissions team, and I say, look, when people come through the doors, you never know what their story is or what it took for them, the courage it took for them to actually come in. And that first interaction may determine if there's a second interaction or second engagement, or if they come back to see us. So we definitely want to encourage staff, and we do, to make sure that they empathize with people, that they provide the best customer service that they can. We have multiple ways that people can engage with us, including virtually. They can access us through virtual bookings. They can make appointments online. They're able to come through our doors to any campus that we're located. They're able to sit shoulder to shoulder with staff and help them through that admissions process or answer any questions that they may have about the college. Of course, the traditional ways, they're able to email us and they're able to phone us as well.
We have to be warm and welcoming in our approach and convenient as well, because we have working students and others who they always need to see and feel our smiles.
Absolutely. You never know, like I said, what a person is going through. So a warm smile and being kind just goes a long way. And to start that connection early, it helps to build relationships. It helps to build trust. And if people are trusting us and know that they can depend on us, then they're more apt to engage with us and enroll at the college.
And when we talk about strategies and we talk about tools, the people make the place at Wake Tech. We have and in your team and the entire enrollment student services, just some of the best people you could ever find. I really love your team.
Thank you, thank you. They strive to do the best they can, and they're doing an excellent job.
And someone who's doing a wonderful job is Anthony. Anthony, you're Director of Outreach and Access, and when I think about you, the work you've done, you're very strategic, but you're also the king of high touch. You've impacted lives in terms of your outreach to students. Tell us about what excites you right now that's going on.
So, when I started recruiting almost 20 years ago, I was using MapQuest, right? Printing the directions out, getting to where I needed to go for these fairs and stuff like that. So
I'm so old, I remember when we didn't have MapQuest. We had to actually have maps at those days.
Took it to a whole nother level.
That's right.
Whole nother level. But, that is a primary example of, what our prospective students look like back then to what they are now and how they communicate, right? So it's all about evolving and changing based on what our community needs. So for me in this role, it's very important to provide that access. Whether you've been at a high school for 20 years or been at just graduated high school, we provide these services. One of the things we implemented last year is providing information sessions virtually during lunchtime. So either an adult learner or a high school learner can spend their lunch period with learning more about Wake Tech. We also re-implemented in-person admission information sessions in the evening. So adult learners or our younger student population can come and learn about Wake Tech. For this was very important to me to re-implement from previous years. It allowed those students to come in, ask questions, even though we do offer those one-on-one, we all know, such as myself, we like that in-person interaction, as Central mentioned earlier. That builds a lot of trust, them coming into a classroom, them visiting the campus, lessens that anxiety, especially for a lot of our first generational students. One of the other things we implemented that I'm excited about, we actually piloted our career explorations program. We piloted this at Millbrook High School in the fall. We call it our Wake Tech Exploration Program, so where we actually bring Wake Tech instructors to the high school. We provide a survey for the counselors. They tell us what type of programs. I typically try to match those programs with the CT offerings at the high school. Very successful in the fall with Millbrook. And now we have 5 scheduled for the spring semester at several high schools in Wake County. We're hoping to grow that for this upcoming school year to more. But I've received glaring feedback from the counselors from our first piloted session. This allows students to come up, ask questions about a particular program by an instructor. That does amazing things for our students that may or may not be considering about coming to Wake Tech. On top of that, we've also added College Connect Day. So College Connect Day has been around a long time, but it's actually in reverse of how we do our Wake Tech explorations. They're coming to us instead. What is more important for me is for students to be able to sit in a Wake Tech classroom and actually see and visualize themselves being successful, learning the material, sitting and hearing what their instructors have to say about the course offerings, job prospects. That's very important these days. If we look at the Chetty study from a few years ago about economic mobility, we know that students that are going to four-year schools are starting at the two-year college level. Wake Tech is leading the nation in regards to students getting a return on their investment, right? So that all plays into how we're getting the word about Wake Tech in our community, about what we can offer.
What the opportunities are. You kind of differentiate too for, it's important. And let's talk a little bit more about that. So probably most of our students are adult learners, and we'll talk a little bit, maybe not most, but it's pretty evenly divided, I guess. But many of our students are coming right out of high school, and this is it may not be their final stop, but this their first stop on the way to perhaps a four-year degree or to a two-year degree that's going in our career technical areas. You and your team have really taken high school outreach to a whole nother level. You mentioned the new initiative that we're doing at Millbrook. Can you talk about how important that high school connection is for us, and how we have at Wake Tech, through your leadership in your areas, strengthened that relationship?
It's important. We started with listening to what the needs of the high schools have. We have 30 plus high schools, public high schools in Wake County, right? And each high school is different. Each high school has a certain population of students that may need additional support. Some are stronger in CCP programming, some aren't.
Our dual enrollment,
yes,
free dual enrollment for high school
correct,
students.
yes. So we have looked at that and offered additional assistance and support. One of the ways we've designed is for our Title I schools. We developed an Eagle Prep program specifically designed to give those high schools that are looking to increase their dual enrollment numbers at their schools. We provided additional support. We meet with those students once a month. For the entire year, we meet with them, and it's intentional. So we kind of go through and we provide information about CCP, but the more important aspect to that, we actually assist with enrollment. And there's two parts to that. So we assist with enrollment for dual enrollment at those schools, but we also provide additional advising support for the general student population for high school seniors that are looking at transferring and coming to Wake Tech, for any of our applied science programs, our university transfer programs as well.
Well, I know your personal stories, helping some amazing stories with students and helping them figure out FAFSA when they couldn't access records. And I can think of a student right now probably would not be in college succeeding were not for you. Tell us about how important that is to help students navigate and figure out not only how to get to college, but how to pay for college, and how we're working with them on FAFSA.
Correct. So we all know that FAFSA did some changes this year.
And tell everybody, what is FAFSA?
So FAFSA is the free application for federal student aid. It is really the first step that every student should take if they're coming to college, whether it be a community college or four-year level. Everybody should actually complete that free application for federal student aid. As we all know, those changes took quite a few renovations to the website and the application process this year. We have a financial aid officer because of the work we did in Title I last year. Title I high schools.
Mostly free and reduced lunch, or
correct.
40% at least.
Correct, yes. And because of the astounding work that the outreach team did in those Title I schools, high schools last year, we actually have a new position, a financial aid outreach officer, that he specifically goes out. Central mentioned about the one-on-one touch is important, especially for the FAFSA application, because that information that is provided on that FAFSA application is so specific to that student's household that you really need a one-on-one interaction and walkthrough of the entire application, because it could come off as intimidating. It asks for a lot of information that I myself, as a high school student, would know, right?
Yeah.
So we find that to be very important for them to actually create these FAFSA labs in the high schools and meet with these students either in a small group setting or in a one-to-one setting, addressing any of their concerns they may have.
And I know for this year, there's a little snag at the national level, federal level, in terms of getting the FAFSA information back. It's going to slow some things down. How will we react to that? Is it just going to slow us a little bit, or what's the This just happened recently.
Correct.
So I don't know the answer to this.
Yeah. So at the community college level, it won't affect us as much. What did affect us though, so typically we start our FAFSA labs in October. That's typically when the next year's FAFSA application opens up. But for this year, because of the renovations that happened with the FAFSA application, did not open up until December 31st. So obviously we had a less of an opportunity to provide these labs. So what we've done, we've kind of countered that, and we've kind of increased a more intentional approach to offering virtual sessions with our financial aid outreach officer, and then also increasing our in-person labs to compensate for the time lost in the fall semester.
Let me ask one more thing. You distinguish too between, we have our high school students that are coming to us straight out of high school, but you're a veteran. We have many veterans who are with us. We have a care team for our veterans. Many people from all walks, all ages who have either have worked, but they're not coming straight out of high school. What are we doing differently in terms of outreach for working adults?
Yeah, so we've actually had a bit of an intentional approach to recruitment this year. We strengthened our relationship with Salvation Army and our religious organizations. A lot of religious organizations, specifically in Wake County, have a lot of educational fairs. Salvation Army has a lot of opportunities for us to go out, do presentations, and provide more information in their public educational fairs also.
So a lot through our partners.
Yes.
Yeah, I was with Step Up Ministry last week talking to them about outreach. I know with Dorcas, we've had some great examples here just in this year of students adult students who are starting with us. So we've got an exciting day coming up, which is open house. And I love open house. That has become a thing. It's kind of if you ever had an academic party, that's, but it's also the day you get to see all of Wake Tech almost in one place. And tell us about open house. When is it going to be? What can students, families expect open house? I'll be there. There'll be a lot of folks from Wake Tech there. Don't let me start. Tell us about open house.
Yes, Fantastic Day is our premier event. We have it twice a year. This year will be April 13th at our Scott Northern Wake campus, where we are now, and then we'll also have it at our
Perry Health
Sciences campus. From 9 to 12, we invite students, families, parents, grandmothers, friends, bring a friend. They can learn about all the programs that we offer. They'll be able to do applications on site. They'll be able to check the status of their application. They'll have information sessions. They can learn how to enroll for dual enrollment, application labs, in addition to labs, curriculum labs as well. The automotive area will be open, welding, baking and pastry, all those things. So they should definitely come out and enjoy open house to learn all that Wake Tech has to offer.
April 13th?
Saturday, April 13th.
From 9 to 12, Scott Northern Campus, where we are right now. It's going to be a beautiful day that day. I haven't checked the weather yet, but it's going to be beautiful no matter what.
We can visit openhouse.waketech.edu right now to go ahead and register. The register is up on the website. We also have campus tours, very important. Student-led, by the way, which is important for us, for our ambassadors to lead these campus tours.
Sometimes I jump in on those tours.
They'll love it. They'll love it. I think it's important to have the student ambassadors participate in those campus tours.
And we got wonderful student ambassadors.
Correct. So we're looking forward to it, and we're excited.
It's going to be a big day. It gets bigger every year. If you ever were interested in anything about Wake Tech, that's the morning to be here at Wake Tech. And even if you just want to come have fun, it is a fun day to learn about Wake Tech. So say the website one more time.
Openhouse.waketech.edu.
Openhouse.waketech.edu, April 13th from 9 to 12. We'll all be there. So we hope everyone else is there as well. Now, before we conclude, you're the access people, you're the outreach folks. In your best elevator speech, what would you say to anyone considering Wake Tech? Why should someone think about going to Wake Tech? Anthony, you go first.
I would say in roughly 30 seconds or so that we have something for everybody that walks in our doors. When we say, and I hear this all the time in presentations, that I say we are this community's college. we act on that. We have something for everybody. There's nobody that's left behind, whether you want to come to school for 3 to 6 months with a non-degree program that we offer on our continuing education side, or you're looking at coming for a 2-year degree and then transferring directly into the workforce, or transferring to a 4-year college and university. We really have something for everybody at affordable cost.
We do. We've got more doors of opportunity, I say, than any college in the United States, and I believe that. Santrell?
And I just want to add, Anthony did a great job echoing that, but I just want to add flexibility. Wake Tech, whether you are starting your journey or continuing your journey or restarting your journey, there's something here for you. So please come out and you can apply now. And you don't have to start post-high school. We have opportunities for dual enrollment where you can start while you're in high school and get exposure to college and free college courses during the high school time.
Well, I'm going to wrap up today's podcast by saying one other reason you should think about Wake Tech is we have the best people you could imagine. People just like Anthony Garnes and Santrell Kaysen, who are brilliant, but they are so warm and welcoming and just wonderful people. And this may be a big place that has as many opportunities as you could find, as Anthony, you noted, but it's a place where we try to act small, and the relationships that are formed here between students and other students and staff and faculty, it's those relationships that make Wake Tech special. And there's special people at Wake Tech, just like Anthony Garnes and Santrell Kaysen, who make Wake Tech what it is. And so thank you for your work at Wake Tech, your impact from Wake Tech for many years, for helping to build Wake Tech. But thank you for what you do for our students. I know they thank you, but I thank you on their behalf too, and for our community. So thank you to Anthony and Santrell, and thank you to all of you for joining us on this episode of the We Are Wake Tech podcast. Please rate our podcast. We would appreciate that. Look for our podcast on all the different outlets where you can find podcasts, and recommend us to your friends and others. Join us next time as well for the next episode of the We Are Wake Tech podcast. Thank you.
I'm Joshua McKinney with your Wake Tech News Update. Wake Tech will soon offer agricultural biotechnology training to support the growing demand for skilled technicians in plant science in the Triangle region. With support from a $449,000 NSF Advanced Technological Education grant, the college is developing a 5-course certificate in agricultural biotechnology to diversify entry-level biotechnology education options for students. To learn more, visit biotech.waketech.edu. Wake Tech Cybersecurity and Graphic Design Associate Degree graduates can now pursue a bachelor's degree from Montreat College, thanks to a new academic partnership. The 2+2 university transfer agreements are Wake Tech's first with the private Christian liberal arts college in Western North Carolina. It's also the first to allow advertising and graphic design graduates an opportunity to earn an advanced degree in their career field. Wake Tech was proud to be a part of FAFSA Day on Saturday, January 27th. Prospective and current students received one-on-one assistance from financial aid staff submitting their FAFSA documents while getting answers to general financial aid questions. If you missed FAFSA Day, our financial aid team is here to help you. Visit financialaid.waketech.edu. Wake Tech is pleased to announce Corey Blanchard Smith as the new Dean of Career Services. Smith, a proud Wake Tech alumna, has served as Associate Dean since 2023 and brings a unique blend of personal experience and professional expertise to the role. Wake Tech's website, waketech.edu, features a new virtual tour that gives visitors instant access to 6 of the college's locations across Wake County. The 360 tours include 30 learning facilities and gathering spaces and highlights the wealth of hands-on education and training opportunities the college offers. Start your virtual tour or schedule an on-campus visit this spring. Visit admissions.waketech.edu. And finally, you can explore all of the opportunities that await you here at Wake Tech during our open house at the Scott Northern Wake campus and Perry Health Sciences campus from 9 a.m. to noon on Saturday, April 13th. Explore academic programs, navigate the admissions and financial aid processes, discover support services and resources, and tour campus with a current student leader. Make sure you register today at openhouse.waketech.edu, and that's your news update.
Pro Tip Shorts.
Hi, I'm Ross Snodas from Wake Tech Financial Aid. I'm here to tell you about some tips and changes about the most recent FAFSA. The top 3 changes for the updated FAFSA for 24-25 school year are: 1, there's automatic tax data transfer. This is great. You don't have to input your tax data manually anymore. 2, there's fewer questions than were on previous FAFSAs, about 1/3 the number of questions, which makes it a lot quicker and easier to complete. And 3, more students will get more free money. That is more grant money going out to a higher number of students, which is great news for everyone. You can uncover more useful tips about this at financialaid.waketech.edu.
Pro Tip Shorts.
Thank you for listening to the We Are Wake Tech podcast. Join us next month for more insightful conversations about the programs and people of Wake Tech and how the college changes lives every day. Be sure to subscribe to your favorite podcast app to have each episode delivered right to your computer or mobile device. For more, find us at podcast.waketech.edu. To learn more about Wake Tech's exceptional educational opportunities, visit waketech.edu.